Who do you know that deserves being pampered a little, but probably wouldn't do it on their own? Family member, a good friend, or maybe your pastor, or maybe it's just you. Christmas, birthdays, anniversaries, or really just any excuse will do for a gift to extend the quality of living. I recommend a getaway gift certificate that'll do just that. The 3 R's for the perfect getaway are romance, recreation, and relaxation. And you can experience all 3 at the mansion on Sawmill Lake or at Beaver Creek Lodge. These premier accommodations are located in the heart of the Texas Forest Country. This takes the concept of bed and breakfast to a new level. Go back in time to an era of the Industrial Revolution where the timber barons made their fortunes and built their empires. Texas Forest Country really says it all. In the center of the Texas Forest Country, you will find the ruins of a large sawmill and the ghost town of Manning, Texas. The first mill had been established there in about 1867. The vast virgin longleaf pine forest of that area supplied one of the largest southern yellow pine sawmills in the entire South. When the sawmill burned in 1935, Manning boasted of 2 picture shows, 2 hotels, a commissary, drugstore, coffin house, jail, train depot, school, churches, and about 1,600 people. But almost overnight, the town disappeared. My mother and father were teaching school there at the time of the fire. They had to move also because the company owned everything. But then in 1941, they were able to acquire the old sawmill site and about 1,200 acres of land, and they moved back to Manning into the old sawmill manager's home and began raising cattle and timber down there. The old house, as we called it, was really a mansion among shotgun houses. After the mill burned, everything that could be salvaged was torn down and moved except the old house. It was still big and beautiful when we moved in 1941, but most of the conveniences of its former glory, including the basics like running water and lights, were all gone. It had plumbing fixtures but no water. It had electrical fixtures but no electricity because they'd all been generated by the sawmill when it was running. We lived there from 1941 until 1950 without electricity or running water, when REA finally came in and brought power to that area. Our amenities were still sparse, but at least we could see and take a bath in the old clawfoot tub. Then a few years ago, I began the process of restoration of the house and secured a historical marker for it. Seems natural that we should turn this great old house into a bed and breakfast and give our guests an opportunity just to walk back into history and explore the ruins of the sawmill and fish in the Sawmill Lake and just relax and imagine what life was like for 50 years before the sawmill burned. My wife Jeannie has restored the interior of the house to replicate its earlier history. I really can't wait for you to see it and, in fact, experience it. My sister Judy, who lives at Manning up on the hill where the hotel used to be, will be the mistress of the house and the chef for a breakfast like you have never experienced. She and her husband Rodney will be your host, hostess, cook, and tour guide. So much to tell you that I can't cover it all in this video, so I hope you will go to our website, TexasForestCountryRetreat.com, to see much more detail about the house and the surrounding property, along with all the other things that are available for you to do when you come to Manning.